Hi there! Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you're new. It has been a few weeks since I've made a video. With all the COPPA stuff going on, I wasn't really sure that I wanted to put in all this effort if I wasn't even going to have a comment section and all that fun stuff that really makes it fun to post videos like these. So I decided I'm just going to go ahead, do my thing. I'm not geared towards young children under 13, so I should be good, right? Today I wanted to do something that I'm actually really excited about. And that is make a color mixing chart. I recently purchased this 12 color set of Winsor & Newton. I believe it's Cotman, Winsor & Newton Cotman. I'll put a picture of it on screen and, link in the description if you're interested, but it's just this small little travel case. It's got 6 mixing wells and a water brush, 12 colors. One of the hardest things for me when it comes to watercolor especially is getting the exact color that I need. I've been seeing a lot of watercolor mixing charts on YouTube, and I thought that it'd be a really awesome thing for me to have. A quick reference, a chart that shows me what colors exactly it takes to mix the exact recipe for making the exact color that I need. What I was very surprised at, and this is because my math is horrible, that I would not have been able to realize this in my head, is that 12 colors mixed together makes 144 colors. So initially I thought, oh, this would be something very simple. And the paper that I have that I'm using is the Canson XL watercolor paper, and it is 11 by 15 inches. I'm so horrible at math. I did not realize in my head that 12 colors mixed with 12 of the same colors would make hues of 144 colors. So I was going to use this. This is the size that it comes to when it's cut out into the 4 sections here. And initially I was going to make my watercolor mixing chart on this. Yes, I'm not saying that it's not possible, but I definitely wanted my swatches to be a decent size. I mean, these are 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch squares, and I don't know, it just seemed cool. I had to have my husband help me. He works at a sawmill and he works with measurements when it comes to cutting wood, so he's a lot better, plus he's really good at math and I'm horrible. But anyway, you're gonna put alizarin crimson here because that is where these two meet. On this row it's the first one, and on this row it's the first one. But my next color is burnt sienna. But burnt sienna, the pure color, is not going to go in the first square because that's where it meets with alizarin crimson on the grid. It's going to go in the second square because that's where the 2 burnt siennas on each axis meet. And it's going to be the same for all the rest of the colors. All the purest color is going to be in this middlemost diagonal line. So let's just ride this out together. Also on this side I went ahead and I'm going to just have a regular swatch section because I'm black India ink, and I did this last night. I went ahead and put a thick black line here so that when I do my swatches of each individual color I can go over this line and we can actually see the transparency of each color. Because typically good watercolors are supposed to be transparent. That's why they're good for layering. That's what watercolors are really good at. And so we should be able to see this black line pretty clearly through all the colors. Just a decent wash over the top. So we'll get to that. First, we're going to go ahead and make a nice little puddle of pure red. Okay, so I was going to use this water brush, but since I don't have full control over the amount of water that comes out of it, I'm just going to go ahead and switch to a nice big round brush. So now that I have my first, that is seeping, no. Once that is dry, I will clean that up with a white gel pen because I specifically painstakingly made this whole thing out. My husband was like,
well, why don't you just draw lines and then cross them and then you have a grid?
And I said,
no, honey, because I want the nice, pretty white lines in between every square to make it look nicer.
And then this happens. But it's okay, we're going to let it dry and then I'll go over it with a white gel pen or something and it'll be fine. So now, since I have pure color here, I can go ahead and reuse this puddle here, but just add a bit of the burnt sienna into it. So we're going to take a bit of the burnt sienna that one. Another bit of water, mainly red. Next one will be lemon yellow. So go ahead and keep going here. So we're gonna get another puddle of mainly red. Good puddle of red there. And then our next color is yellow ochre. The most common way that I've seen this done is whatever color is listed on the top, there is going to be more of that color in each mixture. So in the alizarin crimson row, I want to have more of the alizarin crimson and less of the subsequent color that's coming down this vertical row. So if I do this right, this burnt sienna alizarin crimson mixture will be a different color than this burnt sienna alizarin crimson mixture. Are you still with me? Give me a thumbs up if you're still with me. Now we're getting into sap green, so we go ahead and make our red. I put just a little bit more red and a little bit more green just because I want a bit of a darker saturation. So far, I mean, I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. They are different, which is what I was worried about. I was worried that I would be doing the wrong ratios. That's the word I was looking for earlier, talking about mixing a higher ratio of... You guys, I'm learning, okay? So now we're moving into our Viridian Hue. The water, we'll do 1, 2, 3 swipes of red. Wait, is that what I did there? 3 swipes of red. Now we're at ultramarine, so we're gonna do 1, 2 swipes of ultramarine. Oh, come on. I drew lines for myself and I still can't paint inside of them. That's why we invented white gel pens, right? Clean up our mistakes that are not erasable. Okay, so I've already got my 3 swipes of red here. So now I'm going in for 1, 2 swipes of turquoise. I think I might have done this one too blue. Let me retry this on one of my practice papers here. I'm going to take swipes of red, 1 swipe of ultramarine. Yeah, that's a lot more pinkish. Yeah, I did that one completely too blue. So, I don't know if this will work, but we will try this lifting technique and see how good it works. Well, it stained the paper quite well, but we might be able to salvage it. So I'm just going to go ahead and go back in with this. Get a little bit of this red, make it a little bit more red. Get a drip of water, 1, 2 little bits of red. So I've got 2 swipes of red, I believe, and now I will use 1 swipe of violet. Drip there, 2 swipes of our red, 1 swipe of what would be our Payne's gray. Drip of red, 1, 2. And I'm at lamp black. 1 swipe. Now I've heard this everywhere. You definitely have to be careful with the black because it's such a strong color. It can overpower any colors. You would think as a beginner, especially, at least I did, when creating shadows or shading or in a dark room, the shadows are black, but whenever you're painting, if you use black, it can make it really muddy. You can lose a lot of your beautiful colors. So red, I've actually heard a lot about watercolorists that don't like to use, oh, see, look, there was some color up here in the sides because I know mixing red with white would not create that black color. So let's try a different area. I'll use right here because there's no color there. Only use 1 swipe of red this time. Well, I guess I better just for consistency's sake. I just feel like I'm wasting a lot of paint. So you guys, I feel like this first row has been very successful.
Please forgive the change in quality here. I was messing around with some of my camera settings because my upload speed is absolutely atrocious. It will take me almost 2 days to upload a 15-minute video, so I thought maybe changing the quality of the video would help me upload it faster, but I'm hoping to find a fix for this, so please just hang in there. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so now we are moving on to the burnt sienna, which is my second color. So this is definitely going to be the least fun part of this thing. I'm gonna have to do this 12 times. Clean out these wells. I might get a different mixing palette. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get my big watercolor. Has a removable tray, which also needs cleaned. So, this. I like this. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my burnt sienna. So I'm going to get a drop of water, 2 healthy swipes of burnt sienna, and we're going to do pure color where it goes. Okay, so now I'm going to do just like I did with the alizarin crimson, where I'm going to make a puddle with a higher ratio, look who remembers, the burnt sienna pigment, and a lower ratio of each subsequent color. So if this is correct, this burnt sienna color should be different than this burnt sienna color. Even though they're both mixed with alizarin crimson, this one's going to have a higher ratio of the burnt sienna because that's the name going across the top. This is 2 brush swipes of burnt sienna and 1 brush swipe of alizarin crimson. It's just, let's try that again. Since I've got this mixture here, I'm going to go ahead and get 1 good swipe. That's a good swipe. Yeah, that's different than that. I'm doing this so wrong. Okay. I definitely can see that I mixed way too much black with the red for this one, so I might see if I can lift this color and redo it. So once again, I'm pretty happy that they're all different. I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest, and you'll see it in time lapse, and then I'll see you at the end. So far, this is really cool. I'm really liking the varieties and the colors and how I can see which colors have a higher ratio of which colors, which before it's like I could watch YouTube videos where they say, oh, this green is a little bit more on, I literally pointed at the purest Viridian Hue without realizing. So let's go to a different example. Oh, this green blue is a little bit more green than blue, and this blue green is a little bit more blue than green. Now that I have this, I feel like the more I look at it and reference to it, the more we'll be able to identify these colors without having to use it, if that makes sense. Let me know in the comments, guys, have you guys ever made a swatch chart? And if you have you done one that's bigger than 12 by 12? second chart. I am so pleased with this. This is going to be so helpful. I can already tell right now I am in love with these pastel colors. I'm just so glad to have something that I can look at, that I can say this is a certain tone that I want to get, instead of looking at just these 12 colors and thinking, I wonder how I can get this perfect shade of lemony green that's on the slightly darker side. There's no way. Without mixing, I feel like I'd be wasting paint, but I can just look here. This is the shade that I was thinking of. So now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and fill in my just regular swatch chart and see exactly how transparent each color is, and then I'll come back when we're done with that. So right now it looks like you can see a bit of the lemon yellow and this yellow ochre over the top of the black line. But let's go ahead and give it a minute to dry and see if that changes. So here we are, finally completed. I am totally in love with this. I will be using it all the time now. As far as these over here, just my pure color swatches, I see that the yellow ochre is very visible over the black line, as well as the sap green, not as much, but still pretty visible. So this is the finished product, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this. If I could give any tips as far as if you want to try to do this yourself, even though this was only my first time, I definitely learned a few things. Get a big mixing palette, especially if all you have is something small like this. Having to clean out each of these small individual wells, it got a little bit annoying, especially because, I don't know if you can see, the color gets up along these walls, and even like using my fingernail inside the tissue, it didn't always get it out right. So having a bigger mixing surface makes it much easier, because cleaning just is a few swipes. You don't have to worry about the little individual walls. And yeah, but other than that, I am super happy with this. I hope if you have never tried one of these before and you also have trouble finding the exact shade of color that you want, that you will give this a try. It's definitely a lot of work and it takes a while. I think this took me about 3 hours to do, just the painting. I had the whole grid finished last night because I had to do the measurements and making sure there was enough room and everything. Like I said, I started trying to use one of these, so this could have worked, but just think like how small the swatches would have to be to fit 144 squares, plus the names, plus I wanted the pure swatches on here too. But anyway, I know I've rambled a lot. I just feel like there's a lot of information here that I want to get out, so hopefully if this was something you were really interested in, you stayed long enough to listen to me ramble. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like. Also leave a comment telling me if you've ever tried one of these or if you've used any other kind of techniques. I'd be really interested to know. And also consider subscribing, because I do plan on making more videos using these little babies and possibly dabble into some colored pencil drawings that I'm excited about too. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye guys!